Good evening, everyone. The NASCAR trucks are on track here tonight. Round 7, I do believe, of the Skypoynt NASCAR Trucks E-Series here at Charlotte. And personally, it's probably my favourite, what I've been looking out for the most when the calendar come out. And well, I tell you, 6 rounds in, and now we're here at round number 7. Charlotte is going to be on display. It's a 1.5 mile quad oval. Will throw up some entertaining racing. Peter Gretton, Josh Schulz in commentary once again for this one. Charlotte at night as the sun goes down, the guys start to get ready for a good race. But Charlotte just about brings the best out of most of it, doesn't it, Jai?
Yeah, definitely. Charlotte's always action-packed and always a good track to come to. So it's the last mile and a half before you get back into the mid part of the Super Speedway factor of the series as well.
Well, that's right. The Royal Triple Crown that's in play. The Super Speedways, they'll come back into the frame of people. You know, the scope of people's use and that as the weeks go on, and we move back there next week. Can't wait for that. A little bit of a rundown for tonight. 120 laps. So I was saying 130, just adding 10 in just gradually, just for the boys to do. But 120 laps here at Charlotte Motor Speedway. Round 7 of the Skypoynt NASCAR Trucks E-Series, located in the real world in Concord, North Carolina. But for us, well, we're sitting at home in the comfort and out of the cold as well. It's a quad oval, as mentioned, 24-degree banking for them turns, and we've seen a lot of action in turn 4 in practice, haven't we, Jai? It's going to be tough to keep it straight for 120 laps.
Yeah, we've seen quite a few of these drivers really struggle off turn 4. Is it really the track really flattens out a lot quicker than it does out of turn 2 as well. So it's just catching a few of these guys out. But as we near on the end of practice, hopefully it's got them all out of their system and they've got enough knowledge of banking and everything on the different ends of the racetrack as well.
Yeah, I think by now they should have a good handle on it. Hopefully we've got a handle on it. Give us a shout out as we go with the audio and that. I know my audio's been a little bit on the up and down side lately, but we'll try and get on top of that. Tonight's going to be great. Practice is just about over, as you've just mentioned. A couple of cars just pulling over there, Jai, but we are running for a championship and the Royal Triple Crown, but overall championship that we're all racing for each and every week. And would you believe it, round 7, Michael Skurlock after that great race last week, he puts himself at the top. Dave Douglas teammates up there, so 2 BMX bandits at the top. Andy Barber for Skypoynt Racing, so you're sort of partnered with that team, Jai. Good to see one of the Skypoynt or Southern Stars trucks up there, but big names up the top of that championship, but that's what we're all fighting for.
Yeah, definitely some big names up there and a lot of consistent finishes from those guys as well, and a few of those guys are pretty good on the Super Speedway side of oval racing as well. So come on the next 2 weeks with another Daytona and Talladega races. They're looking quite strong to take out the championship even this early on. So hopefully they can keep up the good form and try and extend their lead even more.
Extend their lead even more. That's what they want to do. We're all vying for the Royal Triple Crown as Aidan Schulz, I do believe that is. No messing around for him. One of the first out on track alone qualifying for these boys. So only two laps counts as they're eagerly showing me the championship points. Did I miss something? But the number 1 car is defending last season's win as he starts to make his way around Charlotte. Jai, you out on track, I do believe, earlier. What are the couple of things that sort of to look out for to get a quali lap? Not just a race lap, but a quali lap. I know that's probably going to be different what we'll see tonight.
It's just really finding that fine line in between how much you can push and how much you've really got to take care of the truck. And I found a bit early on at Charlotte, you can't just really jump on to the throttle and jump off it like you can at some other tracks. You've really got to be delicate and really roll the throttle both on and off.
As the times start to come in now, Gosley 30.03. We did see some 29s. Jai Sparks just come off the wall there. So that's that turn 4. I think we were talking of Jai, where people are just running a little bit high.
Yeah, it's a bit of a struggle with the push off at both ends of the racetrack, but definitely turn 4 more so than turn 2. So it's going to be bit of a grip factor as well, and really looking after your tyres. There's only 2 tyres over the wall, and it's looking like about a 3-stop race as well. So it's going to be down to a bit of tyre conservation tonight as well.
As my mic wasn't coming through. So, Jai, what do you reckon's more important tonight? Fuel or tyres?
Definitely, I reckon tyres. Considering how many pit stops these drivers are going to have to make tonight, and definitely having to double stint one of these tyre sets as well, it's going to be looking after your stuff and making sure you've got a bit of kit left underneath you towards the end of this one.
And just lastly, before we finish up qualifying and wrap that up, Jai, what do you reckon? Treat this as a super speedway and draft is sort of key here?
The draft package at 1.5 miles, especially at Charlotte, works a lot different to the super speedways. You're looking at more of those runs and just kind of sitting behind and easing off the throttle to save fuel. So it's going to be a case of if you get a run on the driver in front, you're going to have to take it, especially later on in the race. But early on, you might just settle into a groove. But yeah, definitely, if you've got a run, you more than likely want to take it.
Well, it's going to be interesting to see what these drivers can do here tonight. 120 laps at Charlotte, round 7 of the Skypoynt NASCAR Truck E Series. Dyson 29.5. That was the time to beat, and I'm pretty sure that got him pole position. I think Skurlock's still out there yet to come back to pits, but Aiden Schulz 29.61. So the times are close, and that's what we expect week in and week out. And that's what we've been seeing as well. But some of them names up there, it's going to be a good start. Hopefully, we can get some clean running. I know I was going to say we. It's probably more me than we, Jai, but we sort of jinxed them a little bit, and they a little bit stop-start. But Charlotte, I tell you, the best of Charlotte's to come, I think. Green Racing, Jai, I think, sort of promotes what Charlotte's all about.
Yeah, it's definitely a more enjoyable and a more fulfilling race if it goes green to green. And a lot of these drivers did put a lot of time in today, and there was quite a few practice sessions that went up before tonight's race as well. So hopefully they've got whatever it is out of their system and they can all settle in nicely and kind of get through the first portion of the race cleanly.
45 drivers. I just did a head count. That's registered for this session as well. So good number of trucks. And at Charlotte, well, that's what we want to see. Big fields. And shout out to all the drivers as well for turning up week in, week out. We wouldn't be here calling grass growing, or it wouldn't be as interesting as it is. But the guys are gritting up, Jai. It's all or nothing. 120 laps around Charlotte Motor Speedway. How good's this going to be? It's going to be a great night. A little over an hour, we suspect. 29.515 for Dyson starts on pole position alongside Darren McKenzie. Aiden Schulz and Steve Williams will have the second row. Trent Gosley and Clayton Fryer will have third. Nigel Patton and Andy Barber. Good to see Andy Barber up there. He'll be starting on the outside of the fourth row. Skurlock and Seidel, Adam Malone and Greg Spencer rounds out your top 12. Jai, always try and get in and rip in and do the grid. It is a rolling start here, as we know, as we can see all them trucks parked up. But what would some of the drivers be thinking now, Jai, as we're already just about to set off for our formation lap?
I was on the grid at the moment, I'd be thinking survival at the start of this race. So you really need to get through that first portion of the race, and I wouldn't really be thinking too much forward of the end of that first portion.
Split the races up into sections. Just turn over lap by lap. Grab your mate. Work together. Keep talking as well, I think, is a tip. Some people like to talk a lot. Others may not. A couple of names down a little bit further. Dylan O'Shea in 28th and Reese May. Watch out for them names to come through the field. Luke Kenny as well. What a start to the series last week he had. See if he can back up that form. Sebastian Vandel's going to start out at 40th position. A couple of names that we're not used to starting there. Jai down the bottom end, but as the trucks start to peel off, we're just about getting ready to get down and dirty for about an hour as these drivers do peel away. 212, Luke Crum Racing. Watch out for him throughout. And the middle split racing as well. You can't miss them trucks, yellow and black. A couple of cars a little bit slow to get the memo as we get back up the front. Andrew Dyson with that pole lap is going to bring us to green. And also Geico restart zone in play tonight, Jai.
Yeah, definitely. So these leaders are going to have to really keep an eye on the display that's displayed right in front of these guys on their screen, especially if they're leading or on the front row on this start. Kind of keeping on the eye of the prompts that they get through iRacing coming up to the green flag.
Well, the lights are still out. 1 to green. I just did make a little bit of an audio adjustment as well, so keep those comments coming through as well. Vasil computer overheating. I'm out again. Oh no, sorry mate. Join in, mate, in the comments if you can, and try and get about. It's going to be a good race here at Charlotte as we pace around. Thanks everyone that has tuned in, and if you like what we're doing, give it a like and a follow and all that other good stuff. Pace truck will be off at the end of this lap, Jai, and big field 45 here at Charlotte. Green running really is what we want to see here. Good showing in numbers though, and this is going to look epic here at Charlotte.
Yeah, it's definitely a lot of level of excitement coming into this one, and they've I believe they've extended the start of the race and given them one more lap behind the pace car just to allow everyone to kind of warm up, especially towards the back of the field, as we saw a couple of trucks a bit slow to get away. But we do have the 45 trucks on it, so it's no easy thing to get formed up sometimes.
Lap 2 of 120, good spot there, Jai. It's been a week and I'm already forgetting how our proceedings are going. Pace truck will peel off. Geico restart. It's a good little window to, allow the drivers to get off, but it makes it more consistent. Andrew Dyson is going to bring us to green here. Skypoynt NASCAR Trucks E-Series here at Charlotte. Geico restart zone coming up. Round 7. How good is it? Right at the end of the restart, Dyson goes. He lets him hanging until the last possible second. We form up now. One single line is Southern Stars Eastbourne. We've got 3-4 wide. I think Steve Williams is involved in that with Skurlock. Nice good start from the boys there, Jai.
Yeah, definitely a great start and a clean getaway from Dyson, and really have to wait till the end of that restart zone. With the new restart zone rules, the race start is always on the green and not the leader, so definitely good as we got a car just get loose out of turn 4 there.
Turn 4, we're going to have to watch that as we go. Caution, lap 2 of 120. I think a couple of the you boys when we were in practice, predicted an early safe caution period. Clayton Fryer was the cause of this first one. Lap 2 at 20. It was good off the green as the pace truck peels through some of these cars, but it was predicted, but not warranted, or not wanted, I should say. As we go back, have a look and see what happens. Sorry there, Jai. We'll go back to a Skypoynt action replay, and Clayton Fryer. Oh, he gets a little bit loose out of 4, so that's that car you mentioned. Oh! Russian roulette, lap 2. That was much bigger than what I anticipated. I thought he was going to go straight into the wall like we've seen a couple of the guys do in practice. Jai, what do you make of that?
Yeah, no, just when I was watching it live, I just saw the very back end of the truck just in the right of shot, just going around. So I thought he might have just kind of locked it down and then kind of come to a slow stop or spun out, and that what caused the caution. But definitely a huge hit on the barrels at the end of that pit wall there.
Wish I had some footage to play of the practice session, because I think there was one driver that probably done it about 3 laps in a row. Let's go on board that replay of Clayton Fryer. Sorry, mate, for replaying it. Let's go live on board. Barry knows he's gone. Oh. And through the safety of iRacing rather. He holds escape and get back to safety. I tell you, it was hitting them that the water barrels wasn't hard enough and bad enough. He copped a head on as he was spinning. And then get barreled up into the air. Bit of Russian roulette early on here, Jai, but big incident.
Yeah, definitely a huge hit by Clayton there, and all I can say is I do hope for Clayton's sake that he wasn't in racing in VR, because that would have made him pretty dizzy. But definitely 10 points for sticking the landing, that's for sure.
Yeah, I didn't quite think of that thought of what happens if he was in VR. Probably a little bit sick as we have a look at the infield here at Charlotte. Early safety caution period was pretty much a given, said by some of these boys. At 35 laps if you stretch fuel. Jai, but it's not like a super speedway, because you would have seen people, some drivers pit there and try and get as much fuel, but these guys, they know best. But we're going to go back to green again in a little bit, I think, mate, but hopefully we can have some green running.
Yeah, definitely looking forward to the green flag runs, and as we were looking at the pace car zoom through the field there as well, I did notice there was one truck in front of the pace car, so that driver would have elected to start in pit lane, and because this caution's come out, he's actually been able to continue on the lead lap and being pretty safe at the backfield as well. So that was one driver that was probably very happy to see that yellow come out very early.
I think there's a couple of drivers that were. A couple of drivers didn't get good starts, and as we go back green now, good restart as predicted. But gone back yellow again, John. Not too sure what happened there, but we're back yellow again. Maybe that's just a delaying it a little bit too late, but not too sure the cause of that.
Yeah, I'm not too sure what's happened there, but as they were coming through the restart zone there, as Dyson put the foot down, I noticed Barney was waving a yellow flag and not a green flag, so it's quite early here. So if we check out another Skypoynt replay, it may have just been struck here on the apron, just coming to a stop and bringing out the yellow again. So very unfortunate for the 960, and hopefully he can get whatever that problem was fixed, as he seems to take off again there.
Well, back under yellow, that was probably the shortest green period that we have. We'll form back up and try and get back to green racing, but we have known this from the rounds that we've been, for the Skypoynt NASCAR Truck Series. A little bit stop-start, but green running, and we know, has caught a lot of people out because they expected the, another caution to come out. So hopefully some of these guys that have been caught out before for preempting a stop-start race to be ready. And also probably coming into these races, these guys now are probably up to plan C already 5 laps in.
Yeah, it's definitely a bit hit and miss this season so far, and definitely a few races that have really caught out some drivers, and also a few races that it's gone almost green to checker, sorry, from start to finish. So yeah, definitely some tracks suiting some of the drivers and other tracks not so much, but that was definitely an unfortunate caution to come out for their second caution here tonight, but hopefully once we get back green flag running, everyone jumps into their kind of rhythm and in their zone and finds their own space, and yeah, kind of start getting some laps under these drivers' belt.
Starting to get back into the swing of things. It's what I've been very observant with in oval racing, Jai, is you want to sort of get out strong off the box from the green flag, try and keep your nose clean, and then get into a groove and keep going. Stop-start races, that's where you've got to sort of just switch back into race start mode again, don't you? And just be like, okay, let's do it again, let's do it again, let's do it again, and then before you get into the groove. But I think the first 10 laps, I think, is crucial after a restart, and once we start to get into the double digits of being green again, as we see, I think Darren McKenzie and Aidan Shields, a little bit of mind games there for the opposition, but I think once 10 and 12 laps after a restart, I think we'll start to see things settle down again. But mind games already happening, mate. We've got 113 laps to go.
Yeah, it was definitely interesting to see D-Mac kind of veer in and then V out, and then Aidan kind of doing the same as their teammates. They don't really want to be tricking each other, I mean, strategy, but they'll be in their own Discord and having a giggle with that. So, but no, on the topic of kind of stop-start, it definitely is hard to get back into a groove, or into a groove in the first place, really, when you don't really have time to get in that groove. So definitely that first 10, 12 laps, as you mentioned, Pete, it really is a time to kind of work out where you're at and where the other drivers around you are at, and once you get through those first few laps there, you can kind of start managing gaps and managing strategy and really thinking a bit deeper into the race.
Well, it looks like we're going to get some green flag racing probably coming up once we get into that Geico restart zone again. Well, the lights are still on, so we might be looking at 1 to green from here, which is unfortunate, really. I think the safety car is leading this race with everything aside. I do believe at the moment that's probably accurate.
Yeah, well, they got to turn 4 on lap 1 before the caution came out, so I believe the pace car's led every single lap so far.
Wonder who's driving it, probably a relation of Barney, but we'll form up again and we'll go 1 to green. Everything to play for as well, as we just wait for these guys to form up. We'll go green next lap. The Real Triple Crown, $1,000 up for grabs. We'll get back into the Daytona and Talladega legs next week. The series at the moment, Michael Skurlock, Dave Douglas, Andy Barber, that's your top 3 for the series, and you take out all 3 of them, and well, that's $1,000 from our naming rights sponsor, Skypoynt. So shout out to Tom. Thanks, Tom.
Yeah, definitely a lot of money up for grabs by Skypoynt and Tom, and yeah, awesome job by Tom and Andy and everyone that's a part of putting this league on and making this happen every Tuesday night.
We're halfway through this 8th lap. Once the Cars go over the stripe. The next time will be green again, round 7 of the Skypoynt NASCAR Truck Series. Here at Charlotte, a little bit stop-start. Andrew Dyson, Darren McKenzie, they'll be keen to get this going. Aidan Schulz is there with the number 1, so 2 Southern Stars. Cars up the front, or trucks rather. But Andrew Dyson, we know, he wins a lot. He's very capable. Pace truck peels off. We'll wait for this blue Geico restart zone, and we'll get back underway. And we're gone green now. Dyson and Co. Good start. They go down the inside. The low line's working. I think Darren McKenzie got caught a little bit napping on the outside, but everyone creeps down to the bottom. And I think the bottom line is where it's at. Good start to the ball as we go a little bit from the back. Have a listen past the camera, Jai. Let's stop and appreciate it.
Yeah, definitely maybe a good time to crank it up.
We've got a battle at the front. Schulz is taking over the lead. Back to Dyson and Pat and Darren McKenzie. So they're starting to form up into single line, Jai. And then Trent Gosley, I think, wants to have a crack, and Skurlock. But we form up too wide. And Darren McKenzie down the inside. So good little battle up front.
Yeah, definitely a few trucks are getting really close and really seeing where they're at this early on. And as we see, the 2 Southern Stars running second and third behind Dyson as well. So Dyson's beginning to be a bit of a name to kind of worry about in this series, and he's getting very, very good results in the races he's done so far. So these other drivers are pretty keen to take it to him and try and get to the lead quick here.
Remember, you can lead a lap and you get an extra bonus point as well. That's what these guys are playing for as we try and go 3 wide. I think that's Schulz, McKenzie and Skurlock. Wobbly car of, I think that's Nigel Patton. I tell you, we're playing for sheep stations already, side by side. That's Trent Gosley and Nigel Patton. Jai, so these guys earlier on up the front, they're fighting hard, but Andrew Dyson and Darren McKenzie now having a little bit of boot and bud.
Yeah, as you see, DMAC go around and use that high line through 1 and 2 to take the lead over from Dyson and Skurlock there. So definitely exploring the track and trying different lines and seeing where you can get it running and really carry the speed around the outside of turn 1 and 2 that last lap. So he'll be looking to kind of create a gap now, and he's definitely hungry for a win after Sunday night. He was leading in another league and kind of got it taken away from him a little bit, so he's definitely hungry to get the W here tonight.
Everyone's fighting for the W. Plenty of racing to go though. Lap of 14 at 20. Darren McKenzie will lead. Andy Barber riding on board with him. He's got, I think that's Kobe Jordan down a little bit out of sequence off that restart. Not too sure what happened. If we can work out and see what went down. But McKenzie, Dyson, they're fighting, and also the truck 10 is fighting as well up the front. But these guys, 1, 2 and 3. Aidan Schulz has dropped back a little bit on notice, back to 5th position, but the front 3 are starting to push. Skurlock on the outside.
Yeah, with Cobes there, he's currently in 38th place. The first car 1 lap down, so he is in the lucky dog position, but just on that last restart, on the second lap after the restart, I noticed he was actually leaving pit lane, so he may have gotten a penalty for passing under yellow as he was on the outside of that truck that stopped on that initial restart, jumping straight into a caution, so he might have just been unlucky there.
Yeah, well, there is a post-race review system, so after this race, there's still plenty of time to go though. Don't forget to check out the Skypoynt Facebook page, and we'll go live again. But these guys starting to get into the groove. We said around about that 10-11 lap mark, we'll start to get into into a groove and start to settle down a little bit. Nigel Patton, I think that is. He gets back into line. You don't want to lose the spot either. Most of the field now, way back as far as 16, 17, 18. They're all single line for the season.
Yeah, it's definitely starting to kind of ease out and find their own space on the track. So yeah, you're pretty bang on there, Pete, with the 10 to 12 laps in, and they're really sorting it out now and really finding their groove, and they'll be all racing to a number or a tyre wear number now.
So you see Gary Wellman, I think that is around the outside. I'm not too sure who that was actually. So is that actually Sebastian Vandal? Different paints, I do apologise. Something wrong, experimenting with something, and I'm not too sure if that's correct here tonight, but we push on. So this is the battle right outside to the top 20, so just as squirrely as the front. The field just keeps going and going. Jive back up the front, they're pushing.
Yeah, definitely a very strong field again tonight, and a strong showing with all these drivers at 45 during the session, so it goes to show what kind of calibre this league is bringing to the iRacing server, and all these guys week in, week out are having fun and looking forward to coming back the following week and really racing these guys hard and proper. So yeah, just another shout out to the boys back at Skypoynt and for putting on the league and making it as enjoyable for not only the drivers but for us to call and the viewers at home as well.
Hopefully enjoying the show as well. Jumping comments. Clayton Fryer, no running triples. Tried keeping it off the track and not in front of anyone. That's racing. We try our best. Just fall short and there's a mistake or something, but that's unfortunate. It's a battle. I think that's Trent Gosley and Nigel Patton side by side there, but some of these guys I've noticed are just pulling through the field. I think a little bit of strategy. I know noticed Aiden Shields, Andy Barber, Malone, most of the Stars guys, they're starting to fall back in the field. Do you think that's a wise move?
I'm not too sure, just with the tyre and the fuel strategy that they do have tonight. I'd probably be trying to make my way forward or keeping up with the guys up the front more so than dropping back, especially at mile and a half. I never do too well when I try and drop back. I always kind of put myself in a bit of trouble as well on the way back through. So, but yeah, all these boys have their strategy and they're playing A, B through to Z. So they'll be trying to work their best strategy at the moment. Stage of the race. Yeah, they'll be driving to a plan, that's for sure.
Which plan is it? Plan A or Plan D? I think it's probably be Plan D by now. Andy Barber's starting to get the hurry on a little bit further back. Has got now a couple of runs. He's starting to put the pressure on side by side. Barber will take the inside. And that's actually Cody Jordan, I do believe, by look at that paint job. But yeah, up a bit of
yeah, it's definitely Jordan there. Looking in and out a little bit as well, but at the same time, just trying to let everyone race their own race at the same time. But he still is in that lucky dog position, so he'll be looking to stay there and definitely hoping for a caution. And that'll get back on the lead lap of this race as well. So definitely hoping for a caution for Kobe.
Yeah, I'm sure he'll be hoping, and I'm sure Sarah will be watching on at home, and she's probably hoping for a caution period as well. But guys at the front, I don't think it would be though. Jive, they're going great though. Nice green periods now. So what have we got? 95 laps to go here, Jai. 95 laps green would be great, but starting to teeter out a little bit and starting to just tick over some of these laps.
Yeah, definitely starting to tick over a bit quicker than initially in the race, but yeah, because we've had those two early caution periods as well, you probably want these guys to extend that fuel number out to around the lap 40 mark as well. So we're just over about halfway through the first.
And tyres are going to be important here at Charlotte. You wash out on the greens, especially at turn 4. Darren McKenzie, he's out and out. Just pretty much pulling away now. He's got a gap of 0.8 of a second, so you don't really see that often. But Andrew Dyson, he won't let go. But What do you reckon? Pushing a little bit too hard too soon for Mackenzie, or I suppose this is just one of many plans that
DMAC is a very, very good race strategist in the races that he does do. So he'll be conservative and trying to hold that gap back to Dyson as well. But they have dropped about between 6/10 and a second a lap already, 28 laps into a run. So even with those caution flags, the time is dropping quite quickly, and they will more than likely have to double stick one of these sets of tyres as well. So it's definitely going to be tyre conservation and looking after the kit and making sure you've got a bit left at the end of this one. So it might be a bit too hard too soon.
80, 120 would probably be the key to try and get home, but we know they're not going to get 40 laps, so good on the admins for setting it up like that. I'd like to see a good strategy. I've just noticed there in the 350 machine, Skerlock looked like he was getting a little bit of air there. If my eyes weren't mistaken, Joe, I think there's a little bit of a lump coming on the exit of 3, I think that was.
Yeah, a few drivers are actually mentioning a bump in the racetrack that you can't really see, but you definitely know about it when you hit it. But I'm not too sure where they were saying it, but I know there definitely is a bit of a hump going into turn 1. So yeah, definitely it's not as bumpy as the old Charlotte used to be.
That's had a few updates as well, but we'll jump on board as the broadcast goes on and try and get a little bit of that. So I think Semi Van Dell down the inside, trying to fight with Skerlock there, I do believe. John? No, it's not. I'm not too sure who that car for is.
Yeah, it's the 04 of Trent Gosley. He's been looking quite strong in this season. But yeah, obviously using a bit of a custom paint there and a custom number, so he's missing the 0 in his on his truck. But no, young Semi Van Del's down in 25th, currently up 15 positions.
Few movers as well. I think the biggest mover would have to be Gareth Anderson back in 14th position, up 24. And I know we did have an incident, but there's quite a few drivers that are up quite considerable. Up 24 for Gareth. We'd be happy with that, but surprised to see in a race that there's so many movers and changes and by so many. Jai, I'm not too sure what you agree with that.
Yeah, there's definitely quite a few drivers up a considerable amount of positions in this race so far, and a few people dropping back, but a lot of people on the move early. So that goes back to the question of they might be burning up their first set of tyres a bit too soon, but we'll have to see how it plays out over the length of the stint and the as the race goes on as well.
Change of the lead. Dyson took that lead off Darren McKenzie, coming up to lap traffic, lap 34 of 120, probably to see the end of this caution period. Sorry, not caution period. Fuel stint come to an end in probably the next 2 to 4 laps, but Darren McKenzie now just backs off and happy to sit in the draft, and this is what it's all about, working together to get to the end. As lap traffic already becoming a part, so that's going to be interesting, but you can use that lap traffic to your advantage as well.
Yeah, so we're about 25, 26 laps into this run now, and yeah, they've started catching a lot of these a lot of these trucks that don't quite have the pace this early on, and might just have to be waiting on a pit stop to make a few adjustments here as well. But it's definitely goes to show who can really work through the lap traffic as well, and really limit the time lost and getting through smoothly.
A little bit of contact too, I just noticed in the back there with, I think Darren McKenzie was involved in that, and Trent Gosley, little bit of a bump, but got away with that. Sarah, thanks for the comment. I've just made a little bit of an adjustment. Give us a, give us a shout out once that comes through. But Dyson, Mackenzie, Gosley, Skurlock, Douglas, as we move a little bit further down, and these guys clearly now into some sort of, groove, and also put their strategy to cap on, because what we thought would be probably around about 34 laps of fuel, we're probably going to see them come in shortly, but now you can see they're just getting in each other's draft.
Yeah, we've got our first driver to blink of Adam Malone in the number 3 truck. He's dived to pit lane to put a bit more of that Sunoco race fuel in, and we'll see how quickly some of these other drivers go. Yeah, definitely the first one to blink, and he'll see if he can get an undercut if he has taken tyres this early on.
And he wants to not lose a draft as well, so yeah. Just getting a little bit.
It's alright. The draft here at Charlotte isn't too much of an issue, but as we see, Skurlock hit pit road as well. But Adam will just be trying to really nail that outlap and get around turn 1 on the apron and make it to that blue cone before he's allowed to enter the track up above that blue line as well. So it's really critical, especially if you do not take tyres in the pit stop. You're on old tyres, and there's not real much banking under that blue line, so it's really a real struggle to hold onto the truck as well. But it's all about making time and really getting up there, as we see D-Mac and Andy Barber and Aidan Schultz, 3 team cars, all hit pit road as well. Tom Pritchard's in as well, so they're all on the same strategy, and we'll be looking to work together as well, as we see Nigel Siegel also hit pit road.
I think you sort of hit the nail on the head when you were saying before about pit strategy, is that round about lap 40 you thought they would come through. Andrew Dyson, he chooses to stay out that little bit extra, and I think what that'll do in the long run is just sort of shorten his stop just by taking on board less fuel. But different strategies already coming underway, sort of working themselves out now.
Yeah, it's definitely strategic move, and if you are able to save fuel, therefore take less fuel in that splash and dash pit stop, it can make up quite a bit of time. But in oval racing, and especially the 3 levels of NASCAR, the fuel is covered by a 4 tyre change as well. So it really only is an advantage if you don't take tyres, but a crucial second or 2 seconds, 3 seconds that you might have saved fuel and spent less time stationary getting that fuel in the splash and dash shop can make all the difference later on down the track.
Andrew Dyson, well, he goes in, I think, a lap later than most other people. He's leaving pit road now, and he's going to rejoin back in probably around about 10th position, as a couple of them other drivers that have already made their stop, I do believe. So, well, what do you make of that, mate? Nigel Patton, he comes out of second place. He drops into pit road. Still showing his second. Oh, there we go. Now he's falling to the field. So O'Shea leads Rob and Campbell, and they've all pit. Jai, so the guys at the front, they're working out their strategy nicely.
Yeah, so we've got a few cars that are able to go a little bit further as they've come in under those first kind of caution laps. As you see 2 team cars dive down to the apron and just get a little bit back up onto the track, but luckily it doesn't take anyone out. But yeah, definitely electing to enter pit road at the entry to turn 3, so the end of the back straight, which is a lot safer to do so, but it can cost a little bit more time as well. So the first driver to blink in that pit stop cycle was Adam Malone, and he's currently up into 11th place with Andy Barber and around Tom Pritchard. So pitting that 1 lap earlier wasn't too much of an advantage, but definitely a safer pitch stop being on your own and not having to kind of deal and fight for the space on pit road with other cars.
It's got Reese May just in front of those Southern Stars boys. Have a look back from the rear as well. That was Aiden Shores just getting a little bit loose there. So I think that was around about where that bump where we were talking about is a couple of other lap cars and trucks wanting to make their way into the lane too, because you got to be careful, don't you, when we go through come into a pit window, that you don't try and undercut someone that's diving towards the pit lane. But so far so good, and the Southern Stars boys are starting to push their way through. But Dyson, he's made his stop, and a couple of laps later, and he's leading this round of NASCAR trucks.
Yeah, he's definitely looking strong out the front here, and got about a second gap back to Skurlock as well. So they've really opened up a gap here back to Darren McKenzie in third place. So week in, week out, we're seeing these two guys really get to the pointy end of the field, especially towards the end of the races. But at the same time, they're not really afraid to fight each other as well. So it creates good racing, and they'll be probably looking to work together at this point in time and really trying to extend that gap. And a bit later on, they'll give it all.
To go back to Darren McKenzie, sitting down one from where he started, currently in third position. Notice a bit of a battle heating up a little bit further back with Williams and Dave Douglas. So these guys, they battle and race each other. Look at this. So Williams down the inside takes the bottom line out of the out of that truck. Well, could have been an out of sequence truck there. I'm not too sure, but it's hard to tell who's who and what's what at the minute. Jive at 48 at 120, coming up to that magical halfway mark.
Yeah, the lap's definitely ticking by thick and fast at the moment. But just on my timing board, I've noticed that Darren McKenzie was stopped for 12.95 seconds, where Dyson and Skurlock were both stopped for 14.7 and 14.9. So I believe Darren has elected to do his double stint early on, and you can see the time kind of slipping away from these leaders. But definitely electing to take the pain early, and he'll come back pretty quick and pretty strong later on in the race as we go caution on the racetrack.
Here we go, caution. I think Shannon Blackburn and a couple of other drivers was involved in that. For those that haven't pit yet, do you kick yourself now for not pitting, or do you think it plays into their hands?
Well, once again here at the Skypoynt Truck Series, it's a very timely caution, because as we're on lap 50 of 120, leaves 70 laps left, 35 lap stints on fuel. That's pretty much bang on the money. So I'd be coming down pit road now, and then it's definitely one more stop to the end. But you're going to have to run those stints all the way to the max kind of thing to make that strategy work. But definitely coming down pit road once rather than twice is definitely a time saver. And it's yeah, very, very timely caution. So I think we're going to see most of these drivers hit pit road.
Well, time will tell. Let's have a look and let's wait and see. I think I've got a replay here while we're under caution for the, I think, third time here tonight. Oh, gets loose out of 4. Blackburn, 3 cars involved in that, but I've seen... Oh, no! There's a Skypoynt car involved in that as well. John, I'm not too sure. I didn't catch that number, but... Oh, you got about 5 cars. So that's, I think, Tom, from the Skypoynt car there. But that's about 5 cars involved in that as the pace truck overtakes. Well, I downplayed that a lot. I think held off going to a replay. I didn't think it was going to be what like that, Jai, but that's unlucky for about 5 drivers there. That's a big one.
Yeah, it was just unfortunate. Just that one truck got a little bit loose and kind of got run over a little bit. Just these trucks are very, very hard to get wet up quickly. So yeah, just didn't quite check up in time, and then a lot more drivers coming through and maybe being a bit unsighted, as sometimes these trucks depending on the radius of the corner and the banking, it's quite hard to actually see very far around the corner as well. So a bit unfortunate, and yeah, just a few trucks kind of piling in and getting a bit lucky as well.
So you can have a look at some good driving from some, knowing the 50-50, as I like to call. Oh, there's that Skypoynt car just getting drilled up a heavy contact into the wall as well. But what I like to say, Jai, is that you got to get the 50-50s right in oval racing. Is when there's an accident out in front, the 50-50. Is it low? Is it high? And all this is happening while you travel it, while in the trucks, good 290, 300k an hour. So some went low, some went high. Oh, how do you make them decisions, Jai? I know you drive these trucks a lot, or a fair amount of time.
The thing I put it down to more times than not is don't hesitate. The worst thing you can do really in racing and kind of accident avoidance or crash avoidance is kind of second guessing yourself. So more times than not, as long as you don't hesitate and kind of really point the truck at where you really want to go, you got a better chance of making it through that way than really going like, oh, do I go high, do I go low, where do I go? And then by the time you make your decision, it's kind of a bit too late most of the time. So definitely no hesitation in those kind of circumstances, and really just pretty much go with your initial gut feeling.
Well, you don't have much time to react, so that's what makes this job so hard in real life and on the sim as well, just them reactions and making them decisions. And I suppose, well, you can't buy experience, so I suppose that's why you see the blokes out in front, Dyson, Williams, Skurlock, currently the top three. O'Shea's in there as well, and Mackenzie unlucky so far in this series, and a couple others as well, just hasn't been able to pull anything, and he got all the raw, sort of luck in the last few. Hopefully tonight can make a difference for him. Reese May, Dave Douglas, Nigel Patton, Adam Malone. Well, I tell you, the cream is starting to rise to the top. I don't want to discount any other drivers. I suppose there's drivers down there that are more than capable at getting a position here tonight. But the list, at least the top 10, they're reputable names, Jai. So look out up the top. I think there's going to be a fierce battle on our hands once we go green.
Yeah, and we've got Dyson, Williams, and O'Shea up the front that didn't elect to come under down pit road under this caution as well. So they're going to be really looking at fuel numbers, driving to numbers, where all the rest that did stop on that lap 50 are going to just try and get to that lap 35 and try and make it home after that as we come into the restart zone.
Let's have a look. Another restart here. Lap 54, we're going to tick over round 7 of the Skypoynt NASCAR trucks. We're green again. Car into the wall high off that replay of that restart rather. All looks good though. Dyson could start for him with Skurlock and Williams went with him as we have a look at these cars. Off the back of that restart as we go yellow again. I think on the back of that truck I noticed up into that wall. Jai tried to go with it, but back into the stop-start action again, I think.
Yeah, well, as they say, the cautions breed more cautions, and definitely that truck really jumping up high and kind of pancaking at the start-finish line as we just look at another replay of that initial caution. But yeah, definitely it would have caused quite a big check-up on that outside row especially, so it could have just been a kind of a delayed concertina effect that sprang out this caution.
This is the right one off the restart, so bit of a check-up. Oh, it's a bit of a spin as well. So, oh, look at this. They just come to a dead stop, didn't they? So there's 2, 4, 6, 8, 9 cars involved again. So when there's an incident, Jai, although the cautions are coming thick and fast, hopefully we're not losing 8 of them cars, or a good percentage of them cars, because we lose 7 at a go. I think might be having 3 finish the race, but hopefully we can get some green flag racing. That's a bit of a rough one again, 5 or 6 cars involved.
Yeah, it was definitely unlucky. I think it may have been one of the middle split cars from that high up shot being a bright yellow car, but unfortunate for them, they actually got stuck in the wall as they hit, so definitely came to a very abrupt stop, and even though a few of those cars look like they passed through the car, they still receive a bit of damage for that as well. So definitely a lot of trucks in that second half of the field definitely collecting some damage there, but it was definitely caused by that truck just getting into the wall on the restart and kind of checking them up as they tried to go 4 wide into turn 1.
Yep, the long race still, lap 56 of 120. We're not yet at halfway point. I just said before we were so close, and well, we are so close to getting to that halfway point. Lap 60 will bring that out. What this brings as well is a different change of strategies. Can you do it now, Jai, on 3 stints? Would you be willing to take that punt?
Well, the people that pitted under the last caution and came down pit road, they'll definitely be able to make it on one more stop now. But these guys are elected to stay out and kind of keep that track position up front. If we get more cautions, the more cautions we get, the better shape these guys are going to be in on fuel. So it's going to be hit and miss, and really depending on how many cautions we do get in the second half of this one.
Our race leader, Andrew Dyson, he pit on lap 41. Michael Skurlock on lap 50. Steve Williams on 41 as well. So Dyson and Williams on the same strat. Also O'Shea, I noticed he pit on lap 45, and then a whole group of drivers that pit on lap 50. So what I think, Jai, is those guys on lap 50 are probably in a little bit or safer position than those guys that are pit on lap 41. That's a big difference, isn't it?
Yeah, it definitely is. But the going rate for caution laps compared to green flag laps is you get about 1 green flag lap, and the same amount of fuel that you use to do that 1 green flag lap, you get about 2.5 laps under caution behind the pace truck. So they're definitely saving fuel, and there's multiple ways to save fuel in NASCAR, as we see Dyson here kind of getting past the pace car. So I do believe what he's doing there is kind of upgrading the getting a bit more up to speed and kind of going faster than the pace truck, and then actually turning the truck off, as that's the maximum way to save fuel is obviously if your motor's not running, you're not burning fuel, and as we see him get up to the pace truck and then really drop off and keep doing the same. So if we go on board in the cockpit, if possible, we might be able to actually see the dashboard turn off if he is doing that strategy, as we do see the revs, I believe, at 0. So yeah, he's definitely shutting that truck off and saving fuel.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah, that was definitely turning it off. Well picked up there, Jai. Definitely taking it seriously, and fuel saving, definitely what Dyson was doing. And Dyson was one of them drivers who pit on lap 41, but he's definitely a name that you see up the pointy end of oval racing. So he knows what he's doing. He's got his teammate in behind by the looks of those liveries, but only time will tell. We're going to go green once more. 4th caution of the night, lap 58. Nearly halfway mark. And hopefully this time we get some green running. About halfway through the lap too, so I gave that a big build up with still about 50% to go. But 2 teammates down the bottom, I think, Jai, that's where you want to restart.
Yeah, we've got a few of these simmering back trucks up the front here in the top 4, but we've also got 2 Skypoynt, 2 Southern Star trucks on the bottom with a Skypoynt car on the inside, and also 1 more Southern Star truck up on the outside as well. So definitely strength in numbers, and we've also got a few Pinnacle boys further on back as we're coming to the green flag.
Andrew Dyson and co will come to green. The Geico restart zone about halfway through this time. good jump. He even leaves his teammate a little bit behind, a little bit side by side for, I think, Aiden Schultz and Dave Douglas a little bit further, but we're green again. Side by sides for the Southern Stars, Darren McKenzie and Aiden Schultz a little bit further back, but let's hope to see green flag running as we go. Emerging like a zip as we almost want to go 3 wide. Looks like the 98 truck of Steve Williams pulling out of that a little bit. Oh, a little bit of contact with Douglas.
Yeah, it's definitely vying for position and trying to get your own kind of space on the track at the moment early on after this restart, as we see Douglas really putting on the pressure on the inside of Stevie Dub there as well. So he's looking to get forward pretty quick, and did see one car drop to the apron down the back straight away last lap, so may have had a driver get a restart violation on that one.
Well, they're pretty harsh on the restart violations, aren't they? Haven't these trucks down around us, Charlotte. 61 laps of 120. We now have got to just over that halfway point. Starting to get into the groove. Look at Dave Douglas on starting to make that outside line move underneath or over the top of, I think that was Dylan O'Shea. These guys up in front. I don't know where to look. Jai, but you see Nigel Patton making a move down the inside now of Steve Williams. Steve Williams, to me, looks like he's falling back a little bit. Not too sure if that's by choice, but McKenzie now is right off the back of him.
Yeah, Stevie Dub last bit on lap 41, so he's one of those drivers that are more concerned on fuel than some of these other guys. So he'll be probably just letting a few of these trucks in front of him to punch that hole in the air and save a bit of fuel. But we've got the league owner sitting in the podium room at the moment, Mr. Tom Pritchard. So I might bring him up for a chat if that's okay.
Yeah, let's bring Tom in. I'm not too sure where he's sitting in the totem. Obviously, if he's sitting there, it's not too good, but we'll bring him in now as I'm not too sure. Oh, there he goes. He is in here. Hey, Tom. How you going, mate? How's your race going?
Oh, I've had better nights, got to say, Mr. P. But yeah, one of those things. Just got caught up in that first big wreck there, unfortunately. Yeah, don't really know what happened at the front there. We saw a car spinning and tried to get out of his way, but I was on second-hand tyres and just couldn't avoid him, unfortunately.
Your teammates are doing well, getting there and thereabouts without giving too much away. What's sort of the a half-hour strat from here on out?
Mate, the Southern Stars and Skypoynt boys are in some rocket ships tonight. Our cars are pretty quick, and I was able to certainly move up through the field where I started from. I started back in my 18th or 19th, and I was just working my way up. So Darren is very quick. He's flying along, so he'll be no doubt up there, and I think Aiden and Adam and Andy are not too far behind. So yeah, it's going to be an interesting race. It looks like a red hot one as we're, lap 65, so beautiful.
Lap 65 at 120. Jai, do you hear that little bit of a grind? I don't even know what it was, that sound I made, but Darren McKenzie, they got awfully close with Dylan O'Shea, didn't they? But he got the job done. Oh, as these guys are in the front top 10, I can't keep my eyes off them.
Yeah, definitely D-Mac making that high line work as he took it 3 wide and got clear of those trucks quite easily looking as well. So definitely making that high line work as they just split one of the lap cars there. So question for you, Tom, with a few of these boys up the front looking a bit worse out on fuel. Do you have the boys from the Southern Stars and Skypoynt camps, do you have them race those drivers as hard as other drivers on the same strategy, or do you just race everyone the same?
As in, when I'm out there racing, am I racing the boys in our team as hard as I am the other guys on the track?
No, are you racing the guys that may be on a bit of a worse off strategy fuel-wise compared to the guys that are on the same strategy?
Yeah, well now, I mean, it's interesting because in that pace car that I was involved in bringing out, that kind of split out a few of the people who were essentially who'd taken tyres in that first safety car versus ones that didn't, because then I think for us, our guys, we didn't take tyres in that first round of pit stops, And so we've ended up now taking tyres later, and I think it's put us in a bit of a stronger position at this point of the race. But look, long way to go. So, you know, it's really at this point about buying your ticket to that last kind of 20, 30 laps of the race, chucking a fresh set of rubber on it, and making haste.
So I'll tell you who's making haste at the minute. Sorry, Jai. Darren McKenzie. He's starting to really push and to make his way past and get a good lead on these guys behind him, Dave Douglas, Dyson and Skurlock. They had a really good battle on. They've changed and jostled positions a little bit more, but these guys at the front, they're really starting to push now. And Tom, leading or to be led at this point of the race?
Yeah, I mean, look, Darren is very strong. He was strong in practice, and he was strong in qualifying and the start of the race. So I have no doubt he is ready to push those legs forward. And I think he's going to be, if I was looking at someone to put my money on, I would be taking the bet against Darren McKenzie. I think Sportsbet have got short odds on him for sure.
Yeah, definitely. I'd have short odds on him as well as these guys. Now, Skurlock really starting to put the moves on, I've noticed, in the last couple of minutes, or last couple of laps, rather. Andrew Dyson and Skurlock, look out for them, is my pick at the end of this race. Lap 71 and 120, just under 50 to go. We better go check out the rest of the field because there's more than 10 drivers, boys. But Gareth Anderson, Andy Barber, Adam Malone, a little bit further back, and Greg Spencer, 29 machine, level where he started back there in 12th position. Is not a name that we usually see a little bit further back, but a few battles and wounds on his car. All these guys are doing pretty well, and surprising to see, Tom, so many guys have made big gains when they have in terms of positions.
Yeah, I mean, look, it's this is a really cool track for these cars. I think that serves up some really exciting racing as we're seeing tonight. Big field as well. We got like 40 plus cars. So, they're doing a great job. Everyone's doing a great job to kind of keep it straight. But at this point of the race, we're only got now, we're into the final third of the race really. So now's the time more than ever that you want to be going. So there's no holding back now. It's time to start stretching the legs if you've got any.
Pit on lap 50. When would you pit again?
Well, I think now it's a matter of one stop to go till the finish. So, you probably want to hold out as long as you can. So they'll be running it. Most of these guys will be running it basically till empty, so they can throw in that last tank of fuel, chuck on the last set of tyres, and then race home for the green. But I think you'll probably see that last pit stop happening around, I think earliest will be around lap 85. So where are we now? So that's about 11 laps time.
11 laps time before we see probably the last pit stop of the night. This lead is tempting me. Mackenzie leads Douglas, Dyson, Skurlock, O'Shea is your top five. Let's ride on board. I think he's got the best seat in the house for to watch this battle unfold up the front. Let's turn it up and let's have a listen of the number 19 machine of Dylan O'Shea, currently sitting in 5th position.
Yeah, he's got a really nice line there, as you can see. Really smooth. You can see how he's nice and smooth on the steering wheel. He's not kind of having to catch the car too much. Very calm. So he's on a set of tyres now that are not new, that's for sure. So certainly he's doing a great job of keeping the car in shape, and he's looking pretty comfy at the moment.
Topping at around about 270, 280 kilometres an hour. Topped on, look at this, 290 almost in the heat of the battle. This is what the draft is. Skurlock's getting a little bit loose. Those rears would start to be giving him hell at the moment. What did the rear tyres feel like, especially in a battle like this, Tom?
Yeah, it's funny because as your tyres kind of go through their wear, the wear cycle, you find that you know, you've got a really loose rear end, and that gets your attention, that's for sure. But as the stint wears on, you start to get a bit tighter, so that means that the car starts to actually plough through the front tyres, and you start to actually drift up track just because the front tyres can't actually maintain grip with the track. So you know, you've got to kind of balance it and just keep in mind that you don't end up you know, running into the fence just from understeering, or, you know, ploughing through the through those front tyres up towards the fence. But you know, this is what the beauty of this track is. It's a real challenge. Oh dear! I think we've just had I thought there was a slight incident there on track. I thought I saw Darren into the back of someone there.
Yeah, I think you're watching the stream. I don't think the Discord stream, but yeah, that was close. But Darren McKenzie's involved in something, so you might have been right. I do apologise, mate. Nothing come up. Darren McKenzie in the pit lane will try and dive into that and have a look there, Tom. But no safety car as such, or caution period. I'll dive back and have a look.
Yeah, that's a big shame, that is. Looks like Darren there's had some kind of incident with I think it might have been a lapped car coming back through the field. We'll have to try and see if we get a replay of that. But yeah, that's a real shame. He was looking really strong tonight, and certainly didn't deserve to be out of the race like that.
Definitely unfortunate for D-Mac there, but I noticed coming through turn 3 and 4, there was quite a couple of these lead lap trucks were just getting around the 69 machine, and looked a bit sketchy. But as we're coming up, I think we're only 1 or 2 laps away from seeing Dyson and Stevie W making a pit stop. They would be the first guys to kind of blink on this strategy at the moment, but definitely coming up as we check out a Skypoynt replay.
Yeah, it's a shame. Looks like he's just gotten in the back of a car there. But, you know, this is one of the things, I suppose, as we've got big fields. One of the challenges is making sure that we keep and maintain, you know, really high quality driving standards. So, you know, one of the things we are trying to do as league owners is monitor the quality of the driving and making sure that we've got a certain level of driving across the whole field that is, you know, that is up to scratch. So we'll be no doubt having a look at some of these incidents with lap cars and all various types of incidents that have happened nice and closely, and, you know, not necessarily, you know, throwing anyone out of the league, but it's more about just making sure everyone's got all the information about any of the incidents that happen, and ensuring that we keep the driving standards as high as we can.
It's definitely a great way to do it. As after the broadcast wraps up every Tuesday night, there's a short break, and then there's a live race review with a few of the admins and a few of the drivers themselves reviewing the incidents throughout the race. So if you want to go check that out and see how it's all done behind the scenes kind of thing, that's over on the Skypoynt Facebook page shortly after the broadcast is done and dusted. So definitely something worth to go check out.
So go back, have another look. This is what happened, a little bit of contact, or a little bit of a nudge. So you were right, Jai, when you alluded to a bit of lap traffic. Copped a bit of damage for that one as well, and almost goes high up into another one. So, well, it's, yeah, not good for Darren, but yeah, lap traffic, I think, looking forward to that one.
Yeah, it's tough for lap traffic as well. You know, some people are on older tyres or newer tyres, and, you know, the hard thing is trying to make sure that you kind of keep your eyes in the rear vision mirror so that you do get out of the way of cars. And by the looks of it there, you know, the lap car was kind of offline, so he may not have been aware that Darren was coming up, and it might have just been one of those things. But, you know, it is really tough, especially when you've got so many cars on track, to always be able to ensure that everyone stays out of each other's way. But, you know, unfortunate there for Darren, because he's now, you know, that's cost him definitely any opportunity at the race. And, you know, you don't get too many of those, I got to say, in this league. No matter what, you can race hard, and when it's not just about racing really, really well, it's also about all of the stars aligning and not having any incidents and not being caught up in any drama during the race.
Oh, well, we're checking out those Skypoynt replays. We've had Dyson and Stevie Williams both hit pit road as well, so they've managed to get about 1 lap shy of that magical number of 85, so they're not too far off strategy, so they'll be looking to still save and hope for a late caution kind of thing to get them straight back into it. But definitely the first 2 drivers to blink, as we should see a lot more drivers come to pit road in the next 4 laps.
Yeah, that's interesting, because any car that pitted before lap 86 is going to be very marginal if we go green to the finish on making it back to the finish line without needing another stop. So we did a fuel runs, and we were calculating about 34 laps was a normal fuel run. So they're going to definitely, if they pitted earlier than lap 86, need to lap 86 is the key number. You would need to make sure you pitted after that number. So yeah, it will be interesting to see whether they can save enough fuel to get to the finish, or indeed if we manage to stay green for the rest of the race, because being one of those races, I think there's highly likely to be another safety car.
Yeah,
highly likely, I think that we will see another caution period. Sorry, Jai, but yeah, we sort of spoke to a few of the drivers that you don't sort of plan races for caution, so let's hope that that goes to the way and we can get underway. But Dave Douglas, truck 10, is currently leading. Schulz, Gerlock, and the battle's starting to teeter off a little bit as guys are just starting to get through this last 30, Jai.
Yeah, definitely heating up as we are coming up to that 30 to go. But yeah, definitely a pretty stellar job from Dyson, as we saw earlier under caution, him actually shutting the truck down under caution to save that fuel. It's really extended his stint with that fuel a lot more than it might have been early on if he wasn't shutting that truck down under caution.
See a busy pit lane now. Douglas, Schulz, Barber, Malone, Gosley, Marshall. They're all coming for a trip down pit road. There's Skurlock and Schulz as we go back under caution.
Yeah, halfway through this pit cycle as well, so this is really going to mix a lot of things up and a lot of strategies up. So we're going to have to wait and see as these drivers filter through pit road and filter through pit road under caution as well, those who haven't stopped, and really see where it puts everyone.
The guys that haven't stopped are going to have the opportunity here to actually put a few cars a lap down. So depending on how much fuel they have, I think they're going to be in a situation where they're not going to have a choice but to drop into the pit lane. And that was what the car 041 there in trouble there. That's why the safety cars come out.
Yeah, that was Dyson, I believe.
Right, that's big news. Maybe we can see another replay of that.
So current standings at the moment, Dyson was in the lucky dog position, but being caught up in an incident that kind of gets stolen away from you a bit. So the next guy in that list, it seems, would be Adam Malone.
Oh, there's an incident there. So yeah, Dyson's gotten tripped over the by the looks of it, was at the car 27 there, and yeah, that's caused that incident there. So unfortunate there for Dyson. He was definitely one of the stronger runners in this race.
As my replay just doesn't want to go back live, but back under caution again. Andrew Dyson, yeah, wasn't expecting his name to sort of come out like that, guys, but well, it is what it is, I suppose. He's anyone can make mistakes. Nigel Patton's in the pit lane as 93 of 120, and Nick Pearson 27 come down. Tune in after the race, Neil, and
yeah, no doubt there'll be a bit of fireworks about that one. Dyson is certainly not one to take a trick without kind of having certainly something to say about it. But frustrating. I can assure you, it's very frustrating as a driver to be taken out of the race. It really is soul destroying. So anyway, onward and upward for the rest of the field. In fact, a lot of them will be kind of in the back of their minds probably half cheering that Dyson's been taken out of the race, because he was a true threat for taking the win, that's for sure. You know, that's because he's such a good driver. So should be an interesting race now. It's coming in now. We're going to all be getting an opportunity to drop it back into the pit lane, and you'll find that the guys that do are going to mean that we're going to be reshuffled with a bit of a new deck of cards for this closing part of the race.
Dylan O'Shea will lead us to green. Once we get to that point, we're still single line astern. We'll form back up and go again, and it turns a little bit longer, a little bit longer race into a sprint race at the end. And Barney's nephew, he's driving the drone here today.
Yeah, I was going to say, Pete, what a great couple of shots you got here. This is there's some really incredible shots of this in this broadcast. So I hope everyone at home is enjoying it, and those that watch it after the race, just some appreciation. Pete's been doing such a great job this year of running this season and running the broadcast. So I really can't thank him enough. And I think this broadcast, particularly with some of the vision and the drone shots, it really is a testament to the professionalism of the broadcast that you've been able to achieve. So well done, mate. It looks great.
Can't take all the credit. Istvan from Track Camps Gourmet says all the responsibility, or not responsibility, rather credit going his way. He does a good job. Featured in the Supercars E series as well. So definitely camera angles that I'm proud to use on my channel, and yeah, he does a great job. But I tell you, we tested at the start of the season before it went live that the new camera packs that we bought. And then we tested it on Charlotte, and we've been waiting for it ever since because, well, the other tracks just haven't been so spectacular. They've been great, definitely great. But, yeah, I love the drone shots. It's been good to have a bit of fun with the button pressing tonight, but it's been pretty good. 94 of 120 shortens the final stint. We know once waiver rounds and all that stuff happens that... we're pretty much good to go here, boys. I think it's just going to be all out, elbows out, and, well, don't worry about stopping. You don't need to. We can all get home.
Yeah, definitely the intensity levels may go up here, but definitely the luckiest driver in this caution period was Adam Malone, as we saw him going a bit quicker than the rest of the field under the pace car, and receiving that lucky dog as well. So he's back on the lead lap, and unfortunate for Dyson being in that lucky dog position, but being caught up in that incident as well. So yeah, Adam Malone back on the lead lap as we start forming up to take the restart on lap 95. It will be as we take the green flag.
It's just ticked over 26 laps to go here. Round 7 of the Skypoynt NASCAR Truck Series. And the Geico restart zone you can see coming up to probably about middle of shot, sort of coming up, that red and blue section of the track. We'll have a look, we'll get a better look at it as we go to green. O'Shea enters the restart zone there and left. So about 2/3 through this time, and he gets a good jump. Very good start from Dylan O'Shea. And oh, who's that in there? Aiden Schultz wants to have a good crack, but definitely good start. We're back under green conditions again. 26 laps to go.
Yeah, definitely an awesome restart again by O'Shea, and really jumping the pack and getting out to a little bit of a lead here early on. So he'll be looking to settle in up front as we've got Dave Douglas and Steve Williams up in front and chased him down.
Yeah, and the battle just behind them. They want to stick right up behind each other as close as they can. They know that they can get home. Everyone can get home. Dave Douglas wants to lead this race, goes around the outside. If that 10 truck, we know he's a winner. He's already won a round in this series so far, and Aiden Schultz, I think, wants to go with him. But teammates there, I think, Jive, well, I think that's simrigs.com, DPRsimrigs.com, leading that low line. Aiden Schultz pulls out of it.
Yeah, he just got a little bit loose coming out of 4 there, so Skurlock's been able to jump to the high line and get around him as well. And we've got Gareth Anderson, who's been making his way up through the field pretty consistently throughout the night, and he's found his way to the pointy end as we're getting into the closing stages.
25 laps to go. This is what we've been waiting for. We've been live for probably around about an hour and a bit. The end of a NASCAR Oval Series, or not series, race rather. That's when it really kicks up the notch. Anything can happen. Anyone on the lead lap from now can win the race. A little bit of contact, I think, between Patton and Anderson. It could be my eyes playing tricks on me. But up front, Douglas, O'Shea, Williams, Skurlock, Schulz, Anderson, Patton, Malone, Spencer, and Reese Page in 10. As we start to get into that groove I was talking about. But everyone wants to win, and these guys up front, they've got their ticket, I think.
Yeah, they definitely are looking a bit racy and a bit more willing to place their truck in a few precarious positions. Rather than, as we said, I think that was Aiden again getting a bit loose. So yeah, definitely pushing hard later on and really up in the fight and really up in the pace as we head into the latter stages. But I think the graphic at the top of our screen is 1 lap more than we've actually got left, so we're going to have to keep an eye on that one. But we've just hit, I believe, 20 laps to go.
Can fix that up. We'll reset the overlays, give them a bit of a kick. Restart them as we go side by side. Aiden Schulz and Nigel Patton in a red hot battle now. So these guys are starting to put the foot down as the latter stages of this race, and I've noticed probably the top 10 is going single line astern. A little bit further back, we've got a couple of side by side action. Look at this sort of battle happening a little bit further back again. I think it was this battle here is heating up. I think it's a couple of out of sequence cars there as well. Battle definitely look up 19 to go. There we go.
Yeah, just on that restart, it didn't quite update as I took it over, so just keeping an eye on that. But it seems to have fixed itself up now. But yeah, definitely these lead guys are kind of going single file. We saw Aiden Schultz really pushing hard and getting a bit loose, so he might just be backing it down and cooling off those tyres a little bit, and he'll have another crack at it. But definitely having that number one truck, number one on the side of his truck goes to show that he does know a thing or two about what he's doing, and he'll be really thinking forward and really going to try and bring it home for this one.
Trying to bring it home. He's got a battle in front of him. That will be welcoming. Nigel Patton and Gareth Anderson having a good old duel out. I tell you, when you're driving this close to the end, this is what you want to see. The guys in front of you battling, using all their stuff. This is a tyre game. Have the best tyres at the end, and you will, there's a good chance, be holding up the ground for this one as Patton now starts to really ramp up that pressure on Anderson as different lines are taken. Top line, I do believe here, is where the tyres are. Look at this run on the number one truck of Schulz. He goes up with the 0-0. He wants to try and cut the 90 machine out, but Nigel Patton, he's awake up to that. He closes the door.
Yeah, Aiden would have been having a very inviting look out of the front windscreen of his truck then. As iRacing, they've really got this draft package bang on, and when two trucks get side by side like that, they kind of stall each other out, so that third car coming up gets quite a big run on them. So as mentioned early on in the broadcast, especially at this late stage of the race, if you've got a run, you really have to take it.
And he's trying to take it. He's trying to get up there. It looks like Nigel Patton is the winner out of that one. He's got the that position of Gareth Anderson, and now the number one truck. Patton into the wall, and the car's behind. Lucky to get away with that. I think Nigel Patton will have a little bit of damage in that. Hopefully staying in the draft will help, but wow, that's what can happen, and he's fallen away. I think he might have got a bit of damage out of that, Jai. Doesn't take much, does it?
Nah, it doesn't take much at all, and it did look like quite a sturdy hit on the fence out of 4, and both the 1 and the 0-0 truck, they went all the way down to the bottom of the tri-oval as they just almost get tangled up there. So they're back pointing the right way and really trying to eyes forward and forget about what just happened and really just get back into that rhythm.
Back up the front, Dave, Douglas, Skurlock and O'Shea. They're starting to peg out a little bit of a gap between one another. And there's that battle a little bit further back that we're sort of watching as well. Aiden Schulz and Steve Williams. So Aiden Schulz actually gets around some lap traffic. But Skurlock now starting to push on Dave Douglas.
Yeah, it's definitely lighting up at the front as the gap's only about 1.5 tenths as we see both the leaders on screen and racing quite hard. So yeah, definitely Dave Douglas and Skurlock taking it to each other, but they are good mates, so they will race quite fair and quite clean, but at the same time they're both going for that win as well. So they've got about 1.5 seconds back to O'Shea in third, so they've got a bit of wiggle room to kind of have it out.
Jump up in the stands, we'll have a look. This is the fan cam packages. 3 cars in the heat of the battle. Adam Malone wants to be in there somewhere as well, but the pressure's really starting to heat up now. 11 laps to go. This is what these guys have been fighting for the whole night. Douglas, Skurlock and O'Shea are your leaders at the minute.
Man, those fans look like they're having a ball. Just got to say.
Definitely
10 laps to go now.
In Charlotte.
Yeah, absolutely. 10 laps to go. It looks like it's going to be a cracker finish to the race. I'll let you boys call this one out. Thanks very much, and looking forward to the rest of the season. We're back to the Super Speedways next week. So,
Thanks, Tom.
Thanks, Tom. There we go. Inside joke there playing out on broadcast once again. Dave Douglas and Skurlock, what do you make of that, guys? Starting to really stretch their legs off away from this field.
Yeah, they've already got the lead out to roughly about 2 seconds over O'Shea, so definitely not easing up and racing really, really hard as well at the same time. So definitely anyone's game, but these two guys up front are definitely stretching their legs a bit.
And the battle, O'Shea and Williams are starting to gap away a little bit. So the top 5 is starting to sort of just gap away a little bit. The next battle is Williams and Schulz are starting to heat up. So Schulz has got a fast car, as Tom alluded to earlier on in that little bit of a chat with him. But Southern Stars, they're on the move up.
Yeah, they're definitely showing a bit of pace tonight, and a bit unfortunate for some of them tonight, just getting caught up in a few unfortunate incidents. But yeah, definitely got the pace and definitely looking to take it towards them.
Reese May in the taking a trip down pit road as well, so that's pretty interesting at this late time of the race. He's put on tyres, so Jai, could that mean that he wants a late caution period? I don't even think that would benefit him at this late period.
No, I believe the only reason he may have come down pit lane is obviously saving that last set of tyres open for a late race caution, but he may have even received a meatball for tyre wear. Once your tyre wear hits 0%, you get a meatball and you've got to come in within 3 laps. So not sure if that was the case or not, but everyone was good to go home on fuel, so I believe that may have been the only reason.
Quite possible. Well, he was changing tyres there as that battle still continues for 4th and 5th, so we go a little bit further back. And tyre game, I'll tell you right now, the tyres would be on their last tether as Nigel Patton still in this battle. I think that is the no, that's a lap traffic, so lap cars playing a part here today. And we haven't really spoken about your boy Andy Barber. He's down 3 positions where he started. I totally forgot Tom wasn't in here, but you're associated with him, Jai, so I'll direct this one to you. Andy Barber's done, okay, down 3 from where he qualified.
Yeah, he's had a pretty consistent run tonight, sitting in P11. Currently is 1 lap down fighting, I believe it's Trent Gosley, the lucky dog if a late caution does come out here. But yeah, just another consistent finish, and every point matters in any championship series that these guys run. So they'll be looking to kind of damage limitation and then get as much points. But definitely that caution period that came out halfway through a pit cycle definitely did jumble up this race quite a bit.
What has jumbled up, what we just what I've just missed is that Dave Douglas now is really starting to put that foot down. So he's got a gap of nearly half a second back to Skurlock. That's unheard of. 3 laps to go here, Jai. Douglas, Skurlock, O'Shea. Who could you pick to be the winner? Because we're almost at green, white checker time, isn't it?
I believe Dave might have this one in the bag if it runs continuously to green, but it's still 2 seconds back to O'Shea, so I think Skurlock just might have used up a bit too much of his stuff there and kind of just backing it down to secure that second place overall. But yeah, definitely Dave running away with this one, and as we go, caution, so we're going to get our green, white checker.
Oh, well, I was onto it right from the start with the commentator's curse and just bought it out just to spice it up for everyone. No, definitely didn't bring it out, but green, white checker. It's going to be hard. I don't think I've called a green, white checker yet, Jai, but not too sure what brought that out, to be honest. So nothing's coming up on my end, so I suppose that's just a case of okay. But we'll go back, have a replay anyway of I am not too sure what. We'll go high in the air, see if we don't miss it. I think it was a little bit further back, wasn't it? Yeah, just grasping at straws. It looks shit. Sorry, I do apologise. We'll go back live. In other words, Pete has no idea why we're on the caution.
Yeah, it was a bit of a strange one. Nothing really jumped out, but what makes this green, white checker very interesting is Trent Gosley sitting in P9 is in the lucky dog position, so he'll get his lap back. So that'll be 9 cars on the lead lap when we take the green flag. And with the green, white checker on oval racing, once you take the green flag, especially in this series where you only get 1 attempt at it, the next flag ends the race. If it's another caution or if it's the checker flag, whichever flag comes first, that's it. Race is done. So the level of intensity turns up to about 1 million on a green, white checker, and especially when you only have 9 cars on that lead lap. If you wreck out, the worst you could finish is 9th. So it'll be hammer down, and pretty much any space, you want it to be your space, and you're going to take it pretty much. So it's going to be a very exciting end to this one, I reckon, Pete.
Just some terms in tyre wear and who's got the greener tyres to finish this off. Dave Douglas and Skurlock pit in lap 90. The next couple of cars of O'Shea and Williams, they pit around about 87 and 84. And then a couple of drivers that really step out to me is probably Luke Crum pit on lap 92. And so did Nigel Patton. Jai, do you think the last couple of, having 2 tyres, greener tyres, do you think that's going to make a really a difference when we go pretty much, to be fair, a 2-lap sprint?
Yeah, well, definitely, as we saw early on in the race, the time drop off compared to these drivers being on fresh tyres to older tyres was about a second over like 25 laps. So they've done a few more than that this stint. And we've had 2 cars come down pit road this time. Was Gareth Anderson. He only stopped for 5.6 seconds, so that was just a splash and dash. Obviously, with the green, white checker, wasn't comfortable about making it home. And the only other driver was Adam Malone, who stopped for 44.4 seconds. So I'm not sure if he's taking tyres, but definitely fixing up a bit of damage and making sure his truck's in the best possible condition to finish this one out. So yeah, they're all roughly on the same amount of tyre, like lap wise. It's just who looked after him throughout the stint is going to really be beneficial as we go back green to end this one.
Well, green, white checker it is. 3 laps to go. Although I'm not too sure if that graphic would change to a green, white checker, but I think possibly, Jai, the next caution period is a green, white checker.
Nah, so the way the green, white checker works is if, for example, this race was 120 laps. If the caution comes out and it won't get restarted with 3 or more laps to go, it'll go into the green, white checker state. which is why we see 3 laps to go constantly throughout this caution, because it was 2 laps to go when it came out. So it jumps to 3, and then as we take the green flag, it'll go to 2, and then obviously white flag, and then finish.
I thought that the pace truck lights were out there for a minute, but it looks like we're going to see, well, the lights went out, 1 to green here tonight. Jai Douglas, Skurlock, O'Shea, Williams, Schulz is your 5. I know any one of them can win it. Who do you think, if you could just throw a driver up there to, you know, to take the W, if you could?
Well, before this caution came out, Douglas was looking quite strong, and I think Skurlock may have just overheated his tyres a bit, but because we've gone under caution now and everything has a chance to cool down, both of these guys are going to be looking quite strong. But Dave being on the inside line, it's seemed to be the preferred line on the restart all night long, and he'll be looking to kind of clear Skurlock and the rest of these drivers out of turn 2, and then maybe try and do a few blocks and kind of keep that lead and try and get to the line first.
Well, the last yellow of the night, not too sure how many we've had, but this will show us 6th caution of the night, which can be seen as high, but the periods in between have been pretty good to watch. Pace trucks off. Last restart of the night. Dave Douglas will lead us to green this time. The Geico restart zone is there, and we're green again. The top 3 guys, they went with him. Douglas, Skurlock, O'Shea, good restart. Schulz goes with him. Malone goes with him. Remember, they've got good tyres. Watch them. We go 4 wide a little bit further back, but good restart. Dave Douglas leads us to 2 laps to go. Elbows out.
Yeah, Dave got a good restart there. A little bit of wheel spin, but managed to clear off into turn 1 and 2. And now he's got, as he goes up to block, but just overextends it and gets into the wall. And he's going to relinquish the lead here to O'Shea. So O'Shea's going to try and hold off Skurlock as he's trying to hold off CBW at the same time.
Well, a lot happened there for Dave Douglas. He was leading the race. He was home and hosed. We had a caution. Dylan O'Shea now is leading the race. Skurlock in a battle with Stevie Williams. If they keep going, they're going to give it to O'Shea. Williams will go down the inside. Aiden Schulz is there in the 1 machine, starting to push checkered flag. Dylan O'Shea's going to take this side by side. Skurlock and Williams. Williams gets that. Aiden Schulz with the top 5. Dave Douglas, Adam Malone. Couple of good battles over the line there, Jai. But, well, Dylan O'Shea, too good.
Yeah, he obviously did enough to get the win tonight here, and just saw the 10 truck as displayed on the screen. Davey Douglas, he went to throw the block, and maybe on the old tyres it kicked it a little bit sideways, and he ended up in the fence a bit. But yeah, definitely a pretty heated battle, and a great win by Dylan O'Shea here tonight in the 0-1-9.
Watch a replay of this finish. So Dave Douglas at this point was left out high and dry. Dylan O'Shea will cross the line, and the battle, Skurlock and Williams. I was trying to get a slow-mo over the line there, but the battle, Skurlock and Williams, that was, I'm not too sure of the gap yet, but there was bugger all in it, that's for sure.
Yeah, it was about 0.02 of a second, so not much left in it, but yeah, definitely close, and a bit of a drag race off the 4, and really fighting for those 2 steps on the podium.
As we've almost missed the burnouts of our race winner, Dylan O'Shea. 6 cautions here tonight. What do you make out of that, mate? There was stop-start, but good racing in between, and 0-1-9, Dylan O'Shea. Too good for everyone, wouldn't he? Took out the W.
Yeah, it was definitely a bit of stop-start like throughout that one, but 6 cautions over 120 laps. It averages about 20 lap runs, so we definitely had some good green flag running, and a few cautions coming pretty quickly after the caution before as well. So it was a bit stop-start, but a lot of green flag running at the same time.
It's good to watch. Very good to watch. Hopefully, it was too good to sit at home and cheer on your favourite drivers, Neil Pearson. Yeah, boys, 1 and 2. That's the DPRSimRigs.com clan. I do believe, Neil, you'll correct me if I'm wrong, no doubt. But how good was the racing? Up 27 positions for O'Shea to come home. Up 29th for Gareth Anderson, another driver who was he was a silent assassin there tonight, wasn't he? Up 29 positions. He was in the battles for most of it. I think that would have been a good battle for him. He got a top 10, up 29 positions. I do believe hard charger goes to him.
Yeah, it was definitely a very consistent drive through the field tonight. Just slowly making his way up, but always on the move forward and pretty much running his own race and kind of picking off people as he went.
It was good to see. It was good to see a lot of people doing the same sort of thing, just sticking back and trying to stay patient and trying to do everything they can to, to get there at the end. It was a good battle. Skurlock and Williams over the line. But O'Shea, Williams, and Skurlock, that's your top 3. And, we'll get into the podiums and that in just a sec. But we'll get up the Skypoint grid and we'll run through that, Jai, and we'll dissect it, and then we'll get into the interviews. It's a great race. Round 7 of the Skypoint NASCAR Trucks E-Series. Charlotte Motor Speedway. Well, green running was my call to try and get it, to Charlotte to promote itself in the best possible way. It was clean in periods, but it took a hell of a lot of guts and determination, as my results just so, Pete, you're not showing them. There we go, the results. Pack up there now. Dylan O'Shea and Steve Williams, Michael Skurlock. That's your podium. We'll speak to them in a minute. Aiden Schulz in the truck 1. He had a good bit of speed at the end. Dave Douglas was your top 5. A few other drivers in there that had a good night, but with this, the field was, was the best that they could give tonight. But good battles within tonight's race.
Yeah, it was definitely great battles and great competition, and it really goes to show the competitive but like gentleman nature of this series, and everyone respects and races everyone cleanly and hard, and it definitely puts on a great show here at the Skypoint Trucks.
It was good. It was a good race for another Tuesday night. Daytona is coming up, another leg of the Royal Triple Crown. Remember, $1,000 up for grabs if you can manage to take out the Royal Triple Crown, win Daytona, or Daytona stages, win in points, and same goes for Talladega, and also take out the championship. You can do that. That's the Royal Triple Crown. That's $1,000 coming your way if you can do it from our naming rights sponsor, us, and somewhat league organizer as well, Skypoint. For their contribution has been awesome, but the rest of the race results will click over. Down 28 laps for Andrew Dyson. It was a race that he'd probably want to forget, wasn't it, Jai? But he was good up front, but then just a bit of mistake and left him quite a few laps down.
Yeah, definitely unfortunate, but definitely a contender for the overall championship, and he's looking strong, and he'll be wanting to put this night behind him and look forward to Daytona next week and really get back to the pointy end of the field and hopefully get another win.
Yep, I can't wait for next week back at Daytona, but we've still got this stream and broadcast to wrap up here at Charlotte. O'Shea, Williams, and Skurlock, they wait in the green room, so let's jump in and let's have a chat, Jai. Hey boys, how yous going? What a race! Bit stop started, but Charlotte, that's that track sometimes can do that to us. But Dylan O'Shea, Williams, and Skurlock, congratulations on your podium, Skurlock. There's a good bit of pace in the back end of that race, mate. But couldn't get the win tonight, but P3, you still got to be happy with that. How'd the race feel for you?
Yeah, mate. Yeah, it was all it was going to plan. But yeah, obviously you can't control what happens around you. Like, it would have been interesting at the end if there was no yellows and Daiso didn't get caught up in whatever happened to him, because there would have been at least 4 of us, I think, at the end battling. But yeah, something happened, and then literally we were 1 corner away from getting the white flag, and then that last yellow came out, and then Dylan got a bomber start and managed to get away with that one.
Yeah, talk us through the strategy in that. It was definitely a tie game over fuel, wasn't it, mate? It looked tough out there on tyres, especially on the exit of 4. That must have chewed up a fair bit.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, because you only got 2 sets of tyres, so you had to be pretty careful. Yeah, there was one time at least where you pitted where you couldn't take the tyres. So yeah, I changed the tyres the first time, and then the last time there was 3 stops, I think we did. And Davo did it the opposite to me, and he was actually better off for it in the end. He was going to win that. So unlucky to him, to be honest. He did good until the end.
Yeah, that's right. It was a great race. Tyres, they looked like they felt like absolute, you know what, coming out of 4. So better you than me, but definitely great race tonight. Up 6 positions, gets 3rd step on the podium. Jai, before we wrap it up, mate, any questions to Skirley?
Yeah, just how hard was it on that final restart to really get away once the green flag came out on the old tyres, as we saw a few of the trucks get a bit of wheel spin on the restart?
Yeah, she gets a bit sloppy, man. Like, I thought it was easy. Like, I thought it was going to be fine because I've been starting in first, and I was like, oh, no, second gear will be fine. But then towards the end of the rev, just before you change into third, it just decides to start just flipping, going Vin Diesel on you, heading towards the wall. So I wasn't ready for that. So yeah, it was a bit dodgy, to be honest. I thought I was going to die.
It was a good race, Michael, and it was a bit dicey. Thoughts out of this round, moving back into the Super Speedways Daytona next week, I believe. What do you take out of this one? Although it's sort of chalk and cheese, isn't it?
Yeah, just the same mindset, man. Just try to come away with top 5, I reckon. Just I don't know, if you want that money bag, you got to do well at the Super Speedway, so I wouldn't mind trying to win that.
How do you feel for one of your teams to do it? Are you looking at that this earlier on in the season?
Well, yeah, something to look forward to, isn't it? Something to keep you going, mate. So yeah, always look for a little carrot to keep me going.
Yeah, well, interesting to see that carrot get tangled in front of your nose or your truck for a little bit longer yet. Charlotte, P3, Skirley, we'll move to Daytona next round. Hopefully we can talk to you on the podium then, mate. But great drive, P3. Any shout-outs or sponsors you'd like to thank?
Yeah, just BMX Bandits. Just shout out to you guys. Sorry, what's your stream? What's this called?
LRE Sports.
LRE Sports, yeah. Yeah, you guys do a good job. Skypoynt and Tom and Andy and everyone that puts this together. Aiden does work for it too, so yeah, good work to all you guys. I like this league and we've been having fun so far, so keep it up and well done to these DPR boys here. Had enough of them beating me though, I must say.
Yeah, they win everything, done it. Come back next week and fight strong, I'm sure. I'm sure. Bump them. Yeah. Don't worry, I can change cameras. Can't really say that live on broadcast, no, but we don't. We won't be doing that. But yeah, you can. Of course, you can. No, good luck, mate, for Super Speedways coming up.
Yeah, cheers, man. Thank you. See ya.
DPR boys, everyone's sick of you beating them. That's the word. You've heard it. As Stevie Williams P2, how hard was it out there tonight?
Oh yeah, pretty hard. Like if that had gone green to the end, Dave and Skurlock definitely had the tyre advantage over me and Dylan. we were hoping that over the long run our cars would come back at them, but yeah, I think they would have possibly had that advantage all the way to the end. And then just in that last restart, it was just unlucky for Dave, get up into the wall, and I know what Skurlock was saying by that up in the rev range, it started to get loose. I started to get loose, and I looked up at Naden. I think because I was really going to defend hard on him, and I think it caught him out.
Yeah, and Tyres and Charlotte, it can be a tricky track, but get it right. It's a bloody track, good track to drive at, isn't it?
Yeah, it's always good fun. You just got to keep a consistent pace and not do it during a race and get involved with battles. That's what I find. If you're getting involved with battles, you soon burn them up.
Yeah, well, you had a good battle. You had a good fight here tonight, Stevie Williams, mate. Any last words and any shout-outs, bud?
Just want to thank you for LNR Esports for the stream. Always good to watch back during the week. Skypoynt for putting on the series. And all the other competitors and all that. So good fun coming back every week. And then all the boys at DPR, simrigs.com, Ben Max Mechanical. What's the thing? I'll leave it up to Dylan to do the rest.
That's the beauty about having your teammate and do a team 1 and 2. So good race for you, Stevie.
Getting the car ready. Daiso getting the car ready for us. Yeah, I had a shocker last week with a set. Daiso come through with the goods this week.
Yeah, it was unfortunate for him to finish a little bit further back, but it's the beauty of having a team 1-2 finish. If you forget one or two of the sponsors, well, your teammate he can have a big shout out and well deserved shout out too. Dylan O'Shea, your sponsors get 2 shout outs. Talk us through the last few laps of that race, mate, because they got a bit hairy up the front.
Yeah, definitely. Got an absolute blind. I got to thank the boss man Daiso giving me the tips. Was able to get an absolute perler of a start and make sure Skirley was on my outside and just get in behind Dougie. Fortunately for me, Dougie got a bit loose coming out of 4, and come away with the win, eh?
Talk us through turn 4. I think every truck that was on the field tonight had a drama with it. Talk us through. Could you know what it's doing before it's doing, or you just sort of just grip it and just hope you make it through?
Our set didn't have a lot of turns, so we didn't really get a lot of moments coming out of 4. Our set was more for the long run, and we weren't really with the size of the stints. We were only just getting to where the car was feeling comfy. Like at the end, just before the caution came out at the end, like I was only gaining like 10th or 2, but like at the start of the stint, I was losing like 3, 4, 5 tenths a lap. So we were definitely coming good at the end of our stints.
We come home with the goods. Got the W here tonight, mate. So it's great to watch and great to watch another team 1-2. Jai, any last words?
I'd just like to think. Oh, sorry.
I was just going to ask. Obviously tonight you had quite a few teammates up the front all night long, and being a mile and a half, I know it's a lot more of a super speedway thing to have those alliances and teammates around you. How important is it on the mile and a half to have your teammates around you?
No, I think it's pretty important because they can help you with the strategy, I guess, because you're all doing the similar thing. You know what each other are doing, and then other people are going to follow you sometimes. So that's definitely helps with that. And then they can put the car in certain places and can help you move up a few spots at the front. But yeah, it's good to have friends, not enemies, up the front sometimes.
It was great to watch you boys up the front and the restarts and the new Geico restart zone and that. I'm a fan. I'm not too sure if any of you drivers are a fan of it, but I think it's a good thing iRacing brought in. They're always improving the service, and that's why we pay the money for it. And well, you guys get to race in hard battles like you did tonight, Dylan. But you and your teammate 1 and 2, you've got to be happy with that. Any shout outs to the people that get you here every week?
Yeah, just like to thank big dogs at Skypoint for putting this race on tonight. Good fun. Ally Esports, you guys, for doing a banging broadcast, and the team sponsors, simrigs.com, Southwell Listen Hoist, Benmax Mechanical, Phoenix Smokers, and MP Designs.
Awesome, mate. Yeah, congratulations. Go enjoy the win with with your teammates, and we'll see you next week at Daytona.
Cheers, mate.
That was our podium, Jai, Dylan O'Shea, Williams, and Skurlock. Well, what a race. It was a little bit stop-start. Well, we had about 7 or 8 cautions, but the green racing that we had, it definitely didn't disappoint. And what a finish from Williams and Skurlock. There was bugger all in it.
Yeah, it was definitely a exciting race tonight, and yeah, stop-start at a few points in the race, but a lot of green flag running as well. So definitely did go down to the line, and it was really anyone's game until that final run off turn 4 to run for the checker.
Well, the run to the checker was great. Dylan O'Shea, Williams, and Skurlock. That's who we mentioned. That's our podium. And, well, round 7, Skypoint NASCAR Truck Series has come to an end here at Charlotte. Congratulations to everyone that competed. And, well, to be honest, Daytona and back into the other legs of the Royal Triple Crown. That's next week, and plenty more of action of racing coming up on the LRE Sports Network. Stay tuned and don't work too hard, and we'll see you next week at Daytona. Cheers.